or the cash that they had in the bank. So
it's just kind of mind-boggling. I mean, you know, I lived through that quake. I don't know, were you in Santa Clara County at the time?
not in Santa Clara County, no. I was actually visiting my in-laws in Marin County. But,
Well, I mean,
it was in the
very
Bay
similar,
Area.
Very similar. So anyway, but I would say actually that we went through sort of a minimum of inconvenience. We did have the telephones out, or where we couldn't call for several days.
Right.
So that, and you were talking about being able to call the bank and so, I mean, we couldn't even get through.
Right.
And of course, relatives were disturbed because they couldn't get through here. I don't even remember if we had a cell phone at the time. Probably not.
No cell phones at the time.
No cell phones at the time. But cell phones can be knocked out too, because you get your towers knocked out.
That's correct.
And so, and they had that experience, I guess, when they had the hurricanes as well.
Right, during the 2005 hurricanes and also the 2008 hurricanes with Ike and Gustav, the cell towers go out and you don't have cell coverage and the landlines are down. And what we have to do is wait until they bring in the satellite trucks in order to use the satellite phones. But sometimes you'll be able to get outside the area, outside the affected area. And that's why one of the things Red Cross suggests is to have a contact outside, preferably outside the state where you live, where all of your friends and relatives can call and let that person know that you are safe and well. And they are your main contact person because you may be able to call outside of the area. And Red Cross also has a website that is called Safe and Well. And whenever there is a major disaster or emergency, if you can log into that site and register, other people can also log in and find you. And so that is a resource that we provide, and actually we even used it up here at the recent Lockheed fire up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. We tried to find people, we're able to connect people who couldn't get in touch with each other.
And now people will be using Facebook and MySpace and all these social,
Twitter
and so
Flickr,
forth.
yes.
So they can send out to their followers and so forth, I'm okay, I'm okay. But we do have a little time, believe it or not, here. And I was thinking, though, back to that time, and, you know, in some ways we were pretty fortunate in Northern California, I think, for the magnitude of that quake and so forth. Well, for one thing, in other parts of the world, when they've had that type of a quake, because their buildings aren't as earthquake safe, they have a lot more difficulty. But here, we had a few dramatic things that made it onto the news, but largely, you know, we had, you know, just a few inconveniences, a few dramatic things. They had to shut down the Giants game.
Yes, and the poor Giants never recovered.
I guess not.
No, they didn't. The A's took it in the next two games. So
darn.
Never been the same, has it?
Poor Giants.
For us poor Giants fans. But, you know, that was a very large event for the Bay Area. And although the epicenter was down below Santa Cruz, but we do know that that was not the proverbial big one.
Right.
That was in no way the same size as the 1906 earthquake. And as we do know here, it's not a matter of if we have a large quake, it's going to be when we have a large quake.
So it's more like a wake-up call.
Well, we certainly hope that, you know, we do our best to make sure that all people know how to be prepared. But the very sad thing is at least 70% of our population are not prepared for a major disaster or emergency of any kind. And we have seen that we cannot rely on our federal or our state government to bail us out. The recommendation of the Red Cross and other emergency agencies is that we be prepared to take care of ourselves for 72 hours, which is 3 days, and that is a long time. And
it can be a long time, especially when your toilet's out of order.
Well, you know that there are suggestions on how to deal with that. We actually have a wonderful prepackaged kit that comes in a bucket with the top of it is a toilet seat. And so you unload all of the items from the bucket, and then you may use that as your portable toilet. So it serves a number of purposes, and those are available at our Silicon Valley Red Cross office on North First Street.
Okay. So, again, I think we have a couple of minutes left, believe it or not. But I'm enjoying this conversation because part of it is, folks, you know, I'm just like you. What we mostly think is that tomorrow is going to be pretty much like today. And the fact is that that's not really the case, that we have to prepare for things that can happen from time to time. So there was a Mount St. Helens event that had a dramatic impact in the Northwest and actually swept ash all the way down here. You know, we do get earthquakes in California. Fortunately, they're spaced out as far as the really violent ones. But we get some pretty good tremblers from time to time, you know, between Southern and Northern California. So we need to think about these things and to be prepared. And you know, take that old Boy Scout motto seriously, right? Right. And so it behooves us to take these things seriously that Kathleen has talked about today, and to know that there are these resources that are available to you at no charge, just by contacting the Red Cross. So why not give them a call or look up on the website how you can request these items and get them into your households and do something about it so that you will be prepared.
That's right, and you can actually contact your local Red Cross by going to redcross.org. There's a place on the right-hand side where you can fill in your zip code, and it will tell you your nearest Red Cross office, and have all the information there, as well as a link to that office website. So you'll be able to find that very easily. And in addition to the information that's available on the website, there are training courses at all of your local Red Crosses, and that will also help you be prepared to take care of yourself for a number of days, and hopefully take care of some of your neighbors who may not be as prepared as you are, or who are elderly or who have mobility issues, because we do have an aging population, and those are some things we need to be aware of. The other thing that we remind people is that you may not be home with all your family when something like this happens. So it's a very good idea to have a meeting place, to have your plan must include how you're going to get back together if you are separated during that time. Your children are at school, your parents are somewhere off at another facility.
So we made it. So thank you very much for being with me today, Kathleen. It's a pleasure
Mike,
having you as a guest on my show.
And just so you'll be prepared, I brought you a first aid kit, so excuse for you. That'll remind you that you need to go home and do your own financial preparedness as well as your personal preparedness.
Right. Well, thank you again. Thank you for being with us today with this important message for us. And folks, be financially prepared, and I hope that I'll see you on our next show of Financial Insider Weekly.